So you finally cracked the code. Look who just discovered the truth about their DNA. Look who finally understood why every locked door in their life swung open with just a touch. Look who realized they've been carrying ancient access codes in their bloodstream this whole time. You beautiful, encrypted, genetically modified masterpiece. Let's talk about that move you made. The one that shouldn't have worked. The one that required credentials you weren't supposed to have. The one that made the gatekeepers freeze mid-sentence and whisper, "How did you get in here?" Because you didn't pick the lock, did you? You didn't steal the password. You didn't hack the system. No, you did something far more terrifying. You belonged there, all along. They told you it was luck. They told you it was coincidence. They told you someone must have made a mistake, left a door open, forgot to check the list. But deep down, you felt it, didn't you? That electric recognition when you walked into spaces that should have rejected you. That strange familiarity with languages you never studied. That way certain old souls looked at you like they'd been waiting centuries for your arrival. Here's what they don't want you to know. Some doors don't open with effort. They open with essence. Some thresholds don't check your resume or your bank account or your social status. They check your blood. And when you walked up to that impossible barrier, when you made that move everyone said would fail, something ancient in the mechanism recognized something ancient in you. Click. Access granted. Welcome home, heir. You want to know why you've always felt different? Why you could read rooms before you entered them? Why you knew things without learning them? Why certain people instinctively feared you while others instinctively bowed? It's not mental illness. It's not delusion. It's not your imagination running wild. It's your inheritance finally activating. See, they've spent generations trying to breed it out, water it down, make everyone the same manageable livestock. They created systems to identify and suppress the old bloodlines. They built entire industries around making you doubt your instincts, medicate your gifts, apologize for your power. They needed you asleep because they knew what would happen if you ever woke up and realized what you actually are. But blood remembers what the mind forgets. DNA carries stories your consciousness can't access until the right moment. And that moment, when you made that impossible move, that was your genetic memory finally breaking through the programming. That was centuries of sleeping power finally stretching its wings. That was your birthright, laughing at their little barriers and walking right through. They scrambled when it happened, didn't they? Made phone calls, checked databases, ran your name through systems that came back error, classification beyond parity, because you're not in their registry of common citizens. You're in a much older database, one written in stone and starlight and blood, one they thought they'd destroyed but only managed to hide. Let me tell you what really happened that day. When you approached that door, that opportunity, that level everyone said was off limits, something scanned you. Not your ID, not your credentials, your frequency. Your molecular signature, the unique electromagnetic pattern that only certain bloodlines carry. And the scanner recognized royalty in peasant clothing. You've been walking around with a skeleton key in your skeleton. Every bone in your body vibrates at a frequency that unlocks vaults they swore were impenetrable. Your blood cells carry passwords older than their civilization. Your very existence is a master code that overrides their security protocols, and they can't revoke your access because it wasn't granted by them. It was granted by birth. This is why you've always felt like you were playing a different game, because you were. While they were following rules, you were following bloodlines. While they were earning permissions, you were remembering birthrights. While they were begging for opportunities, you were reclaiming thrones, disguised as job positions, relationships disguised as soul contracts, achievements disguised as destiny markers. Every time you've walked into a room and felt the energy shift, that wasn't your ego, that was recognition. Every time someone couldn't explain why they trusted you instantly or feared you irrationally, that wasn't charisma, that was genetic memory. Every time you succeeded where you shouldn't have, that wasn't luck, that was lineage. But here's where it gets interesting. That move you made, it wasn't just about gaining access, it was about activating something dormant. See, bloodline keys don't just open doors. They open timelines. They open abilities. They open memories that were locked for your own protection until you were ready. And making that move, that was you declaring readiness. Now you're probably noticing things. Synchronicities multiplying, old friends from nowhere reconnecting, books falling off shelves, open to exactly what you needed to read, strangers approaching you with messages they don't understand, but you do, dreams that feel more like memories, memories that feel more like instructions, instructions that feel more like awakening. This is what happens when dormant DNA activates. When sleeper cells in your bloodstream receive the wake-up call. When the locks inside you start opening faster than the locks outside you. You're not just accessing new rooms. You're accessing new rooms within yourself. Secret chambers in your consciousness that were sealed until you proved worthy of your own inheritance. And they're terrified. Because an activated bloodline keeper isn't just powerful, they're untouchable. They operate by laws older than governments. They answer to authorities higher than CEOs. They carry diplomatic immunity from the universe itself. You can't sue ancestry. You can't fire DNA. You can't cancel someone whose very existence is grandfathered in by forces beyond bureaucracy. Want to know how to spot others like you? They're the ones who nod when you walk by. Not a normal nod. That ancient acknowledgement between old souls recognizing old blood. They're the ones whose eyes light up with that finally, another one, look. They're the ones who speak in codes you somehow understand without translation. You'll find them in strange places. Bookstores at 3 a.m., coffee shops that shouldn't exist, meetings you weren't invited to but somehow knew about. They'll say things like, your bloodline is showing, or the family's been waiting for you, or simply welcome back. And instead of confusion, you'll feel relief, because finally someone else sees what you've always suspected. But be careful. For every genuine bloodline keeper, there are 100 pretenders. People who want what you have but weren't born with the key. They'll try to attach themselves to your frequency. Try to decode your genetics. Try to steal through proximity what they can't claim through provenance. You'll know them by their desperation. Real royalty doesn't chase. It magnetizes. The funny thing is, you probably tried to deny it for years, tried to be normal, tried to fit in with the common narrative, but blood doesn't lie. And every time you tried to shrink yourself down to their size, your DNA rebelled, made you sick, made you depressed, made you feel like you were betraying something ancient and sacred, because you were. Now comes the hard part. Having the key means having the responsibility. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't unfeel what you now feel. You can't go back to pretending you're just another random person hoping for lucky breaks. You're a bloodline keeper, a carrier of codes, a walking repository of access permissions that others would kill for. This is why your life has been so hard, why you've faced opposition that seemed orchestrated, why you've been tested in ways that others haven't. They've been trying to break you before you realized what you were, trying to corrupt your key before you learned how to use it, trying to convince you that you were cursed when really you were crowned. Every betrayal was a test of your encryption. Every loss was a test of your core coding. Every moment you wanted to give up was a test of whether you deserved the inheritance. And you passed. Not by winning every battle, but by surviving with your essence intact, by maintaining your frequency despite their interference, by keeping your bloodline pure despite their pollution. Now you understand why certain people have always been inexplicably drawn to you or repelled by you. Your blood carries a frequency that either resonates or repulses. You're not meant to be universally loved. You're meant to be specifically recognized. Your bloodline key doesn't open every door. It opens the right doors, the ones meant for you. Here's what happens next. Now that you've used the key once, you've sent out a signal, like a lighthouse suddenly switching on after centuries of darkness. Others with the bloodline are feeling it. Ancient systems are coming online. Dormant networks are activating. You're not just an individual anymore. You're a node in an ancient grid that's been waiting for enough keys to turn. You'll start meeting them everywhere, in elevators, in waiting rooms, in dreams. People who look nothing like you, but feel exactly like you. People who've been carrying the same questions, the same abilities, the same sense of not belonging to this current system, 'cause you don't. You belong to something much older and much more powerful. They'll share stories that mirror yours, different details, same essence, different locations, same revelations, different faces, same frequency, and you'll realize you were never alone. You were just scattered, hidden in plain sight, sleeper cells waiting for activation. And that move you made, that was your activation. That was you coming online. But activation isn't comfortable. It's not some gentle awakening with harps and halos. It's more like electrical currents running through circuits that have been dormant for generations. It's overwhelming. It's intense. It's magnificent and terrifying simultaneously, because you're not just remembering who you are, you're remembering what you're capable of. Right now, information is flooding in faster than your conscious mind can process. Ancient memories surfacing, abilities coming online, knowledge you never learned but somehow know. This is the download phase. Your bloodline key didn't just open external doors. It opened the vaults in your own DNA, where your real education was stored. You might be experiencing what they call symptoms, but what are actually upgrades, headaches that are really cranial expansions, sleep disruptions that are really interdimensional conferences, appetite changes that are really your body demanding the fuel it needs for transformation. They'll try to medicate you back to sleep. Don't let them. This discomfort is just your true form breaking through the shell. Languages will start making sense, even if you've never studied them. Not because you're learning them now, but because you learned them before, in other incarnations, other timelines. Your bloodline carries linguistic keys that unlock communication across barriers. You'll understand not just words, but frequencies. Not just sentences, but intentions. Not just languages, but the codes beneath them. And the dreams. Oh, the dreams are about to become training grounds. Classrooms where your bloodline elders teach you what they couldn't while you were asleep. Board meetings where strategies are discussed for moves you haven't made yet. Reunions with family you didn't know you had. These aren't fantasies. These are briefings. Pay attention. But here's the warning they won't give you. Using your bloodline key puts a target on your back. Not everyone wants the old blood awakening. Not everyone benefits from the rightful heirs reclaiming their positions. There are entire systems built on keeping you asleep, keeping you small, keeping you from accessing what's yours by birth. They'll come at you sideways, through people you trust, through opportunities that look golden but are actually traps, through illnesses designed to lower your frequency, through relationships meant to dilute your bloodline, through addictions meant to corrupt your key. They know they can't destroy what you are, so they'll try to make you destroy yourself. You'll know them by their questions. They'll be obsessed with understanding how you did it, how you got in, how you knew. They'll offer trades, their temporary power for your permanent key, their paper kingdoms for your blood inheritance. They'll promise you the world while trying to steal your universe. Don't negotiate with parasites. Your birthright is not for sale. The attacks will be subtle at first. Technology glitching around you. Important messages getting lost. Opportunities mysteriously falling through. People suddenly turning against you for no logical reason. This isn't bad luck. This is interference. They're trying to jam your signal. Trying to make you doubt your key works. Trying to convince you it was all coincidence. But here's what they don't understand about bloodline keys. They're unbreakable, uncopyable, unhackable. What's written in your DNA can't be edited by their campaigns. What flows in your veins can't be poisoned by their propaganda. What pulses in your bones can't be silenced by their systems. You are a walking encryption that predates their entire civilization. Every time they try to lock you out, your key evolves. Every time they change the locks, your blood remembers older ways in. Every system they build to exclude you becomes evidence of your importance. They wouldn't work so hard to keep out something that didn't threaten their illegitimate throne. Your very existence is proof of their fraud. This is why you've always felt like royalty in rags, because you are. This is why you've always known you were meant for more, because you were. This is why their rules never quite applied to you, because they don't. You operate under older laws, higher laws. Blood laws that supersede their paper ones. And now that you know, now that you've used your key once, there's no going back. The seal is broken. The bloodline is active. The inheritance is claiming you as much as you're claiming it. You're not just a person anymore. You're a position, a holder of ancient office, a keeper of keys that others forgot existed. Something's building. Can you feel it? All around the world, bloodline keepers are waking up, making impossible moves, walking through walls that kept humanity caged for centuries. The old blood is rising, and the new world is panicking, their artificial hierarchies crumbling. As the real royalty reclaims position, you're part of something bigger now. Not a conspiracy. A restoration, not a revolution, a remembering. Every bloodline keeper who activates adds power to the grid. Every ancient key that turns weakens their false locks. Every heir who remembers strengthens the claim. This isn't about individual victory. This is about collective inheritance. They'll try to turn us against each other. Bloodline keeper against bloodline keeper. Ancient house against ancient house. They'll manufacture conflicts between us while they steal from all of us. Don't fall for it. Recognition over competition. Alliance over ambition. We're not enemies. We're family. Scattered family finally finding each other. The moves you're about to make will ripple across timelines. The doors you're about to open were sealed for good reason, waiting for the right moment, the right keeper, the right key. That's you. That's now. That's why everything in your life has led to this moment of recognition and reclamation. So here's your choice. You can try to forget what you've learned, try to go back to sleep, try to pretend you're just another common citizen with common dreams and common limits. But your blood won't let you. Your dreams won't let you. Your destiny won't let you. The key has been turned. The door has been opened. The bloodline has been activated. Or you can accept what you are. A keeper of keys, a holder of ancient access, a walking permission slip from the universe itself. You can stop apologizing for walking into rooms you belong in. Stop explaining how you know things you shouldn't know. Stop dimming your frequency to make others comfortable. Stop pretending you're not what you've always known you were. That move you made, that was just the beginning. A test of the key. A proof of concept. A demonstration that what flows in your veins is worth more than what's printed on their paper. Now comes the real work. Now comes the real claiming. Now comes the restoration of what was always yours, but hidden until you were ready. And you are ready. Or you wouldn't have made that move. You wouldn't have had the key. You wouldn't be feeling what you're feeling right now. That recognition. That remembering. That ancient yes rising from your DNA. This is your bloodline saying, finally, it's time. Welcome to who you've always been. Now let's see what doors you open next. Because the truth is, that key you carry, it doesn't just open one door. It opens every door they built to keep you out. Every vault they filled with your inheritance. Every room they said required permissions you'd never have. You have them. You've always had them. Written in blood older than their empires, carved in bones stronger than their barriers. Welcome to the bloodline, keeper. Welcome to your birthright. Welcome to the truth they killed to hide and failed to bury deep enough. Your DNA remembered what history forgot. Your blood carried what books burned to ash. Your bones know the way home. And that key? That's just your genetics saying what your soul always knew. You belong here. You've always belonged here. And now, finally, you're ready to claim it.